What's going on, guys? My name is Joe. This is the Duel Factory, and before we even start today's video, yes, it is going to be a Crystal Beast deck profile. Yes, it is Conclave control, and yes, most of the theory comes from Neshi, who is arguably the best Crystal Beast duelist that we know, and most of his theory came from his list. All I did was adjust it to how I like it and how I thought it would be approachable towards the meta. And if you want to see a more in-depth theory and stuff like that, I will link Neshi's deck, not deck profile, but his channel in the description. And you can go check him out if you want to see things, all thing Crystal Theory. But enough about that. I'm going to get into my deck profile. Crystal Beast is one of my favorite. It was actually my first competitive deck I ever had. And I'm very excited to show it to you, mainly because I have most of the cards maxed out. Arguably, I don't have Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon, but that's because I don't like Ghost Rares. But it's more or less maxed out. We got new support. It's really cool, and I'm going to show it to you guys. So to start off with the list, we play 3 copies of Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. For those of you who don't know, Crystal Beasts thrive from being, when they get destroyed, they don't go to the graveyard, they go to the Spell and Trap card zone. Pegasus basically bolsters that strategy from whenever it's summoned, it puts it, Crystal Beast, from hand, deck, or graveyard into the Spell and Trap card zone. We play 3 copies of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. This is one of the newer ones that got released. His effects, he's one of the few Crystal Beasts that actually has an effect in the Spell and Trap card zone. I think he's the only one that does. But you can banish it from the Spell and Trap card zone. You can special summon level 4 lower Crystal Beast, but negate its effect. And then you must add Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon or an Ultimate Crystal Ash, I think is what it says on the card text. So that being said, we do have to play, you do have to play Rainbow Dragon as the brick. But it's all right because we have a new spell card that we actually required Rainbow Dragon for. Plus, he's a 1-card rank 4, link 2, whatever you want to think of. So he's actually really cool. And then we play 1 copy of Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. This card is really, really integral. We only play 1 because we don't want to draw into it. But being able to reborn all your Crystal Beasts from the Spell and Trap cards and whenever it's special summon is really, really broken. So we play that. And then, like I said, we play the 1 copy of Rainbow Dragon because it's necessary as an engine requirement. And that's it for the monsters. Very, very small monster lineup. On to the spells. One of the new spells is Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This card, for lack of a better word, is insane. It's essentially a true Draco spell. So what it does is once per turn, it can destroy a Crystal Beast, and then it can add any Crystal spell or trap from deck to hand. So that's effect number 1. While it's on the field, you get additional normal summon of Crystal Beast. That's effect number 2. Effect number 3 is a really cool effect. Is whenever a Crystal Beast monster is put in the Spell and Trap card zone, you can target 1 card in the field and that card, and then you return them to the hand. So you return this, and like I said, it's just another form of interruption. Like I said, it's a true Draco spell. Like, the card's actually just cracked. We also play 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge. It searches any crystal spell in your trap spell or trap in your deck. So it's just more copies of almost every spell card in your deck and whatnot. So it's insane. Another new card is 1 copy, or not 1 copy, but 2 copies of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. This card's really, really cool. So you need to be able to reveal Rainbow Dragon in your hand to activate this card. So that's why playing 3 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon I think is super necessary. It also helps plus for damage. But it has a couple effects. So the first effect is you can take a Rainbow Bridge card and then or Rainbow Refraction from the deck, and then either add it to the hand or send it to the graveyard, which is really cool because it can either add Bridge of the Heart or it can send Bridge of Salvation. Spoiler alert, we are playing Bridge of Salvation. And then it also has another effect where it can special summon a Crystal Beast monster card from hand, deck, or graveyard. So this is going to be the primary where you summon your Ruby Carbuncle, so that way you can put more monsters on the field. So the card is insane. I think I only played 2 because I didn't want to like play too many copies of it, because on the off chance I didn't have access to Rainbow Dragon, I didn't want to brick on this card. But I think going forward, I think it is correct to play 3, and I'm going to make room for the 3rd one. But yeah, card's insane. And then the 1 of Crystal Bonds. This is probably the best, or I don't know what the word it's looking for, but it's one of the better pieces of support we got in a long time. So more or less what it does is it adds a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then you place one in the Spell and Trap card zone of a different name. I cannot think of a piece of legacy support that better bolsters what a deck wants to do other than Crystal Bond, and the card's insane. There's also really, if you play Crystal Beacon, there's some really cool combos with Bond Beacon, but that's for another video. So that's it for the crystal spells. On to generic stuff. We are playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Not much to say here. It just ups the consistency of your deck, and any deck that has the ability to freely banish 6 cards from the extra deck honestly should play this card, just because of how much easier it is for your deck to play. You see a lot more of your power cards, your engine cards. When you side, it makes side decking more powerful. Like, cards is insane. I'm going to keep playing 3 in every deck that can banish 6 in their extra deck, no problem. And then a lot of decks a lot of Crystal Theory that I see that doesn't play this card, Foolish Burial Goods is just wild to me. Because we got Crystal Bridge of Salvation, which more or less, like, it's already an insane engine because it can search any field spell, but it's even further bolstered in this deck because you're playing a Crystal Beast strategy, so it's just another way to get to your Pegasus and a Floodgate if you really think about it. And some of the Crystal lists that aren't playing this card, it just baffles my mind. But yeah, we play 3 of it because it's essentially a Rhoda. And then the 2 field spells, we just play the 2 best Floodgates. We play 1 Necro Valley and 1 Mystic Mine. I hate having this in my main deck, but you have to play it. And the Necro Valley is just arguably one of the best Floodgates that's searchable. That also gets us to our Pegasus because of Bridge of Salvation, and that's why we're playing it. On to the namesake of the deck, Crystal Conclave. So to give you a quick rundown, whenever a Crystal Beast monster control is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can special summon a Crystal Beast monster from my deck. That's effect number 1. And then effect number 2 is you can send this card to the graveyard and target 1 Crystal Beast and 1 card your opponent controls, and then return each of them to the hand. This card is a really, really insane, like, control piece, and that's the name Conclave Control, because, like, basically we're trying to establish a conclave as early as possible, and it just makes it really hard for your opponent to play through that. We are playing 2 copies of Crystal Miracle. For those, this is another new support piece, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's essentially a Solemn Judgment for a Crystal Beast. Whenever your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect, you can just activate this card, destroy 1 Crystal Beast you control, and then negate that monster and destroy the effect. And then it has a secondary effect. It's actually really cool. So if a Crystal Beast monster gets placed in the spell and trap card zone, you can banish that card from the graveyard as long as it wasn't the turn that it was sent there. And you can put a Crystal Beast monster from your graveyard to the spell and trap card zone, which also puts more Crystal Beasts in your back row to replenish when they go to the graveyard and makes your Ruby Carbuncle more powerful. So that's really cool. And then we play the 1 copy of Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. The very first effect does not matter. The only time we're activating this card effect is its graveyard effect, which you can banish it in the graveyard and you can add 1 level 4 lower Crystal Beast. Or I think it says any Crystal Beast. Yeah, just add 1 Crystal Beast monster and then add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. That's all you need to know. It searches Floodgates, it searches your starter. Card's insane. And then we do play 9 hand traps. I play arguably the best hand trap in the format right now, which is Dimension Shifter. For a lot of decks, it is an auto win. However, if you're into a full Wonder Race player, you should probably just hold it in your hand. Gonna be 100% honest with you on that one. But card's insane. It doesn't really hinder anything that you're doing. It just turns off your Foolish Burial Goods turn 1, so you got to be wary of that. But other than that, card's insane. It's an auto win. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's the most generic hand trap. And then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence because it's just good for Floodgate monsters. And that is it for the main deck. It's 40. On to the extra deck. We are playing 1 copy of Baguska. It's Plan B. It's the best Floodgate we can make with 2 level 4s. Not much to say there. We play 1 copy of number 62 Gares. We really make this card whenever we have drawn Rainbow Bridge of Salvation and we can't make a Link monster, so we make this instead. And it also gets us 2. It also gives us draw 2 and discard 1, so that's why we play that. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon is just really good. 1 copy of Lightning Chidori. Cards insane. Any deck that has 2 level 4 wind monsters should play it because its card's just insane. Arguably one of the better Floodgates in the game, Abyss Dweller. And then one of my favorite reasons to play it is we play the Zoo package. So we play 1 Chakanine, 1 Borbo, and then 1 copy of Zeus. That being said, Zeus, honestly, I don't think it's that great this format because everything when it goes to the graveyard by card effect, it's an insane card effect, so there's that. On to the links. We are playing 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker. It's generic, it's linked to, and you can make it under Draw and Lockbird, so that way you can still put your Rainbow Bridge of Salvation in the graveyard and not waste your Dugaras in the process. Not much to say there. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 copy of Lina, because most of the monsters in your deck are lights, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, and then we also play 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, mainly because Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon is a level 8, so you can use it to make this, and this card's just insane. And then 1 copy of Access Code Conquer to end games. And that was the Crystal Beast deck profile that I've been wanting to show you guys. Like I said, arguably most of the theory and all the credit has to go to Neshi. Like I said, I'll link his channel in the description below. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.